Warner Brothers bet big on James Gunn when it comes to their DC universe, that he would be the guy to lead them out of the darkness and into a new light, and hopefully for them, into actual profitability, because for the last 5 years, it has been bad news when it comes to DC films at the box office. But Superman is just a few weeks away, and they are going all in, a massive marketing budget. Now, they reported a $225 million production budget, but of course, we have documents that say it was well over $300 million. But even with that being set aside, we have also been told that it's a $200 million Barbie level style marketing campaign. And initially, it looked like some of that marketing was definitely paying off. The first little bit of box office projections we got for Superman made it look massive. Superman is tracking to earn $140 million to $185 million for domestic opening weekend. That would be a huge, massive opening weekend for Superman. But then a couple days later, when we started to get some of those pre-sale numbers and things like that, it went down a little bit, between 125 to 145 million. Now, that would mean an opening that is still probably less than something like Thor: Love and Thunder. Not the worst news in the world, but certainly not the news that they were hoping for. Well, now everything has changed once again, as those projections, they keep getting lower. Superman is currently tracking to open with $90 to $125 million at the domestic box office. That is a far cry from some of those early projections. And look, projections are projections. Like we saw with Barbie and Oppenheimer or the Minecraft movie. Sometimes these things can massively outperform the projections. Sometimes it comes in way less, but projections are just projections. Nevertheless, maybe started to get a little nervous if you're Warner Brothers with this movie that you've bet so much on. Superman hits tracking with $90 to $125 million U.S. opening. Superman, the first movie under new DC Studios head James Gunn and Peter Safran, arrived on tracking with $125 to $145 million outlook. However, various distribution sources believe the real range for the Gunn-directed movie is more in the $90 to $125 million vicinity. Because of brand name, Superman pops on unaided awareness. That's the category where those moviegoers pulled automatically cite a movie they want to see without being prodded. With a 30 in unaided awareness, it's higher than Top Gun Maverick. But is that the right comp? So what they're saying is they're getting into a little bit on why Superman might look like it has more interest than people that are actually interested in going to the box office to see it. In first choice, Superman is below such post-COVID superhero movies like Thor: Love and Thunder and The Batman, and even James Gunn's Guardian of the Galaxy 3, which is a little bit worrying when you look at those openings. Here's the rub. The first choice, when given a choice between a couple movies from this year, right? First choice for Captain America: Brave New World is higher than Superman by 71% at the same point in time. That movie opened to $90 million, ended up being a disaster. In addition, Superman's first choice is 64% behind that of Matt Reeves' The Batman. There's also a lot of other competition, right? Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out right before. Fantastic Four is coming out a few weeks after. There is a lot of competition in this crowded July for Superman. That could be one of those things that's affecting that as well. But the fact that these numbers are now where they're at, I would imagine Warner Brothers DC very, very concerned, especially with all the money they've spent on marketing, not to mention producing this movie. Because this is a movie that is going to get compared to the last Superman movie that came out. The first Superman movie that came out, we should say, Man of Steel. Now, Man of Steel, $667 million at the box office. If they don't beat Man of Steel, and we're talking about not adjusted for inflation. If they don't get to $700 million, it is going to be viewed far and wide as a massive disappointment for them. There's no doubt about that, especially the optics of, leaving behind Henry Cavill, going in a new direction, all of this stuff. But the opening weekend for Man of Steel, I remind you, was $116 million, right? $116 million domestic opening. If you adjust for inflation, that's upwards of $150 million in today's money. So when we're looking at Superman and we're looking at what those initial projections were, they have fallen a long, long way. And if I were them, I'd certainly be fucking worried. Because, look, if this movie opens $125 million, it's not the end of the world. If it's well received by people, if people love it, if you have repeat customers, if it has really great legs and goes on a long run. Shit, we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Didn't have all that impressive of an opening compared to some other openers in the MCU, but it was more well-received. A lot more people continued to go. It had fantastic legs, especially when you look at Marvel and like the post-Endgame landscape. So if you had something like that, certainly could go on to be a success, whatever they define that as. If it opens to like $90 million on par with Captain America Brave New World for Superman, we are talking about a massive disaster, because then you're looking at it being tough to potentially outperform something like Man of Steel. You're looking at a PR disaster for Warner Brothers after turning all of this over to James Gunn. And if the first movie, Superman off the bat, if it disappoints, not good news for them. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.